Welcome back. The old saying, silence is golden, seems even more fitting in today's wired world. And joining us now to help us create silence in our lives is Sarah McLean from Sedona Meditation Training and Retreats. And it's so funny, Sarah's here, because Bruce will come home and say, the house is so quiet. I prefer no noise when I come home. I don't want the radio on.
Yeah.
Nothing, because I find that I have to have just total silence sometimes.
Yeah, we work in like a loud office area where there's video and sounds coming out. It's nice to have a retreat to come home to quiet down, isn't it?
I agree. And the average household has 3 TVs.
Oh, yeah.
And one TV is on for at least 8 hours a day. Wow. And the average person watches about, I'm not telling anyone to turn off the TV, but the average person watches TV about 4 hours.
Really?
And so by the end of the week, you've spent an entire day in front of a television, and that is not even including how much time we spend listening to music in our cars, on our iPods, how much time we spend paying attention and watching YouTube and on the internet.
Right.
So, and this is really an issue that has been researched with students, and mostly in European countries. They take a look at students who either are in school by a railroad station or a railway, or by an airport, London's Heathrow Airport, and there was actually a study done in Germany. There was a school, and they had moved the airport, and they found that after they tested the children's immune systems, their cortisol levels, their blood pressure, their IQ, and their memory, that they found that once the airport was moved, that they immediately recovered from it, but it had significantly been lower.
What is it about all the noise in the TV that reduces your immune system and that makes it, that suppresses it, or whatever it does?
I'm not exactly sure what happens, but I know the effect of it is that it starts to create the fight or flight response, to have the constant noise, because we aren't choosing it often. We're not choosing the car alarm going off outside. We're not choosing the leaf blowers and the airplanes. You know, occasionally, you know, if we're on a Harley or something, we're choosing that sound. If we're watching a football game, we've got it really loud, we're choosing that. But if we're sort of subjected to a sound, like children's next to an airport or next to a train station, you know, that starts to cause the stress. It's almost like we're being slightly victimized by it.
Well, that's what you said, the stress, like the sounds, and your children, the rock band games, all that stuff.
People standing in line, you can hear their conversations.
You have all that going on, and it's like overwhelmed. It's like, wow, my head needs a break from all this. But is there anything as a good noise?
I think it becomes about your perspective. I mean, you could go to a rock concert, like I like to go to sometimes, and I would love it. But if you happen to be a neighbor whose home was near there, and you don't particularly like Dave Matthews or something, you know, you have got to listen to it, and that's how it is. It's the perspective of it. I also know that over the last 30 years, noise has just gotten worse and worse and worse. It's harder to find silence.
So how do you create silence in your home that's nurturing to you? Not just turning everything off, is that it? Or
well, that's
adding some other stuff to it?
That's a start, right?
That's a start, is to, you know, cortisol levels, which are your stress hormones, which are the reaction, what happens when you're in fight or flight mode, and that's what causes a lot of disease through our bodies. That is really increased from the moment we wake up for about the first 18 to 20 minutes when we get out of bed. It actually helps us to kind of function, but if we get up and drink a cup of coffee or turn on the TV, we don't really deal with that. So the best thing to do if you can get up in the morning is not immediately turn on some noise, to literally sit in silence. And I always recommend sitting up against your headboard, and you know, they say, you know, praying is talking to God and meditation is listening to God, but I always say that in meditation, or taking time in silence, is really just kind of clearing the receptors for really listening to who we are and being with our family and really creating creativity and a relationship.
I can see that. You know, we just got a puppy in our home, so there's been no TV by choice because they're too busy playing with the dog. No TV. There's been no DS games, no Wii games, and it's funny. Like, gosh, my mom says it's stressful. I said no, it's almost less stressful in a weird way because they're so busy playing with the dog. They're not putting all that stuff on.
You know what I noticed is that when I moved into my new place last summer, I did not put a TV in my bedroom because I noticed in my old place I would leave the TV on and wake up in the middle of the night. Now I sleep more uninterrupted and more peacefully without having any noise. I just have a radio that comes on when the alarm comes off. So you're thinking I should get the beeping, not the not the talk radio.
Right. Well, yeah, and you could also have a music. There's so these alarms that start you off with really soft chimes. They're shaped like triangles, like they're the Zen alarms. But you know, I know a lot of people who turn the TV on in the morning and don't turn it off ever. You know, until they wake up at 3 a.m. and turn it off, and then it's off for 4.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Huh, interesting. Sometimes I think it's what you grow with. Like if your father always had the TV on, you need that sound almost as a comfort zone, sort of.
Well, I recommend people try it as an exploration,
Okay.
you know, because I know it can cause stress to turn it all off. So try it for 5 minutes.
Oh, I love turning it all off. It's great.
Try it in the car.
Yeah, I do too.
Oh,
I
it's
do. I
peaceful.
drive in silence.
It's
People are like,
peaceful.
does that drive you crazy? I'm like, no, I love it. Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you.
Very good tips there.
Thank
And
you.
if you want more information on Sedona meditation, you can visit our website at azfamily.com/yourlife or dial our hotline. All right, coming up next, another way to feel better. Wendy Marley is bringing us this year's top fitness trends, and Cindy Sorber is giving Valentine's Day flowers a unique twist.